Tuesday, May 21st. An insider tells us where Walmart is starting to deploy robots next, and it answers some of the serious questions we've been asking on this channel. Plus, we got lots of other reports. We got a major restaurant chain out there declaring bankruptcy. We have the Environmental Protection Agency sending out a warning on water utility sabotage. We have food banks being overwhelmed. We have a warning that you need to be reading that fine print on your CPAP machine. Yeah, the one that you just check box and it's just like, disclaimer, stuff like that. One of our reporters does. And there's so many other reports here as well. Let's jump into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade. And these are your updates. These are your reports that you guys are sending in from all over on what is important for other people to know. What's going on your store shelves, what's happening at businesses, and things that people need to be warned about. If you have an update that you want to send in, please use the word update in any comment on this channel, and that gets it to the right place. If it's relevant, please make sure you put a geographical location on it as well. Before we dive in, we do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. They make these things possible so that we can meet here together and share information. If you have a retirement account and you want to see about what it would look like to get gold, silver, or platinum, gold and silver are spiking straight up price-wise. It's a great time to be jumping in. But there'll be a link at the end of the video for you to get some more information or to get some of your questions answered. All right, so Red Lobster. Red Lobster has filed bankruptcy. They've closed a bunch of locations, but once again, when they declare bankruptcy, that's a restructuring of their debt. In the worst case scenario, they may have to sell their name and their assets to someone else who's more solvent. But it does mean they're losing money. So they need to either turn things around or they need to find someone who will turn things around. They are losing money hand over fist, and so something needs to change. That's not a good sign out there that when you start seeing major name brands starting to implode, especially when it's like a restaurant like that. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency has sent out a warning that cyber attacks against water utilities are becoming, quote, more frequent and more severe. They are urging immediate steps be taken to protect the nation's drinking water from future attacks. Now, water utilities are all run by different agencies, different cities, different water companies, and that kind of stuff. So many different ways that water gets distributed across the United States, and it's hard to get everybody on the same page. So we're getting this warning that's being blasted out there that there are people targeting water utilities maybe to cause environmental damage by releasing sewage and stuff like that, raw sewage or chemicals into water streams. That's a non-targeted attack against people. That would be against like streams and that kind of thing, trying to just cause chaos. Or the more worrisome thing is getting too much poison basically in the water. So it's not just killing the bacteria, but it's killing the people too, right? So that's the major concern out there. Or not putting enough treatment in the water and releasing water that's untreated into the system. So that's the big concern out there. If you're on a well and you have control of your water supply, well then this isn't directly a problem for you. But for anyone who's on city water or township water or whatever, you need to be paying attention to this as well and be thinking about what's your backup plan for water. If power goes off for a long period of time like it is in Houston, water goes offline. And just the fact that water systems can go offline for all sorts of reasons. A storm blows in and your water system gets flooded and they start giving you a boil advisory for the next couple days. We have a major tornado emergency in Custer City, Oklahoma. After a tornado touchdown there, Oklahoma's getting hammered this past couple weeks. Rough shape out there. A lot of damage from the previous storms and more damage with tornadoes on the ground there too again yesterday. Ann says Walmart aisles are being widened. This is our insider. to accommodate the robots that will be replacing human workers on stocking. This is inside information. Robots are already in place in Fargo, North Dakota. Now, they did like a trial run of this back in 2020. Robots that would scan the shelves, but they never really went into restocking the shelves. But apparently they are doing a test program, and the plan is that they're going to roll this out to stores. And this is interesting because we've been talking a lot about, we've been seeing the aisles getting widened, haven't we? And apparently the reason why they've been widening the aisles is so that they can get robots in there. So not necessarily that they don't want to have as much stock, but this kind of makes sense too, because you know how if you've been to Walmart recently, half the people shopping, it seems like, are employees picking stuff for people. Have you noticed that? Okay, I exaggerate a little bit here maybe, but there's a lot of people with their carts picking for people who are going to do drive-by or who are going to get it delivered to their home. You got these Instacarts, you got the Walmart home delivery, and a lot of other grocery stores are doing the same kind of thing. So it makes sense that if they can get a robot that can pick product or even most of the product off the shelves, that would speed things up. So it'll be interesting to see how they roll these things out. And I know a lot of people are just like, that's taking people's jobs. Well, yeah, but it's also making things more efficient. And so that means lower prices. So I don't know. I mean, robots are going to be annoying. I mean, if I think pickers are blocking the aisle, I'm sure robots are going to be far worse. But if it brings price down for food delivery and stuff like that, maybe then in the end might be a good thing. But of course, them forcing us out of the grocery stores so that we have to just accept whatever nasty produce they pick for us. If you've seen the potatoes recently. All right, so let's move on here. Jim, I run a small food bank in Washington State. Over the last 6 months, we've seen a 90% increase because the economy is great. Just listen to the media. 90% increase in people coming for food. Every week I go to a wholesaler and buy produce to give the people. Over the last few months, we've seen the quality of food drop so that many of the things in the box of fruit or vegetables are already going bad. In the past, we could pick up produce that was in excellent condition. Now it's coming in, for example, tomatoes, where the bottom half of the crate is damaged and unusable. What's going on with our food supply? In addition to the 50% of the time when I call in a prescription refill, I'm told that they're out of stock and will have to wait a week or more to get my prescription. Some of these items, like blood pressure medicine, are critical to my life. Yet we keep getting told there's no problems, just conspiracy theories, right? But when you start talking about Kroger, when you start looking at Walmart's, Aldi's, you just see the produce everywhere. Sam's Club, the produce quality has dropped dramatically. Moon Man says, Northeast Pennsylvania. Ordered wholesale product for one of my suppliers in Florida. This is not necessarily food. Told him about the dismal sales in the Northeast. Worst sales of the season in our 17 years here selling. In Northeast Pennsylvania, Northwest New Jersey, and Mid-Hudson Valley, New York. All of our customers are telling us business is dreadfully slow. Most are really starting to look glazed over and scared. And most have cut staff. We had 2 customers close in the past year, and 4 we haven't gotten orders so far in 2024 yet. Customers either have no extra money or have cut back drastically on higher-end natural and homemade foods for lesser quality foods because they're cheaper. He said in the Northeast is the only slow area. The rest of his sales are good in other regions. So, but definitely in the Northeast. Flipper says Walmart in South Texas, widening the aisles. We keep hearing that, right? And now we kind of have at least a working theory on why that is. And have a lot of the merchandise on clearance. told that they will not handle those items anymore. We are seeing less and less products on the Walmart store shelves. Anonymous Nurse says, I noticed an update on my CPAP screen. An update. Just said that they could get more info. They didn't specify what info. With the report of the refused driver's license you gave, I may have more insight into what info and how it is used. Let's see here. My info is Bluetoothed on some regular basis. Don't know how often, but I no longer have to take my memory card to the doctor each year. And we had that report that what was happening is apparently this information is being sent in, and they're not. And if you don't use the CPAP and yet you've been prescribed it, they can deny you driver's licenses and such because you're supposed to be using it. Lewis says, update from Indiana. My nearest Walmart is 10 miles away and the only one in my county. Yes, they have empty spots on the shelves, but they are hardly out of anything like milk, eggs, sugar, macaroni, bread, etc. Once again, that's in Indiana. Even though I don't buy vegetables there, I don't see any shortages in the vegetable area. It seems like the shortages are mostly occurring in high populated areas like big cities. What do you guys think about that? Is it more focused in on big cities or rural areas? We do keep hearing a lot about the two east and wests, right? The two coasts. That's where we're getting a lot of reports from, and we're also getting a bunch from like Michigan, it seems like. CC says, here in Texas, HEB is the store to go to for everything. I've been buying their store brand canned cat food, Hill Country Fare, for my cats. They're 5.5 ounce cans, and this is going to be important in just a second, were 38 cents each for a long time. Then about a year ago, they jumped the price to 64 cents for the same size can. Recently, they are now selling a 3 ounce can, it used to be 5.5, right? For 68 cents. That's almost double their initial price. And they're rebranded their house product and called it Classic Pate, and it's selling for 78 cents a can. Combination of inflation and shrinkflation out there. If you're not watching those ounces on the cans, the calories on the cans, things are changing. We're seeing it. Bo in southern Utah. In Utah, they pushed ADHD meds and CPAP for a lot of people, even those who don't need those things. CPAP is basically a small ventilator, right? We all remember how the ventilators helped people with the cough. Remember how that was detrimental to people's health. But I haven't heard that CPAPs really have that type of problem. But let Bo continue. Some of us know how to take care of ourselves. Every time I have to go to the doctor, they just ask, how you feel? And they don't do any tests to find out. Well, if you don't complain, I guess you're the one supposed to know if you're feeling good or not, right? Don says, Steve, I have an update on the rotten fruit. Today is Sunday. I went to Walmart on Friday after work and got myself a watermelon. Yesterday I cubed it up so I can take some for lunch each day. I took a bite and it was so ripe it had lost all its flavor and texture. Can't eat it. Disgusting. This is Slidell, Louisiana. And then this is from Joe. Capital Region, New York. Went to Hannaford for groceries. Noticed that the frozen pizza section was extremely low. Let us know what you guys are seeing where you are. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to get some more information from Genesis Gold, there's a link right there. You can fill out your form and they'll get in contact with you. Or if you want to check out another video, there's one right up here. Thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.